Alright, welcome back to Roguetech, and welcome back to your first playthrough. So, we are traveling. We have, how many days? Right, you have to scroll down. We have 21 days before we arrive at the next place where we're going to start dropping on missions. We need 14 days to finish the build on the Phoenix Hawk that I'm kind of second guessing. Because we've gotten a lot of good stuff since we built the Phoenix Hawk. So I'm kind of thinking I might actually stop work there and change it. The Incubus 1 will be finished will be repaired in 1 day, and then we can refit it. Or we can stop work and decide what we want to do with it as well. Which I probably will, now that I think about it. Like, I had intended, I got the two Incubuses mixed up, and I had intended for the Incubus 1 to be finished so I could refit it just from stock. But all it's going to be missing right now is some armor. And if we're going to be increasing the armor anyway, then we might as well just stop the work. And yeah, I'm just going to straight away stop the work there. And I think I am going to stop the work on the Phoenix Hawk too. And then the Incubus 9... that's just repairing. It has no engine core, but it does have clan components in the cockpit, so it's worth building eventually. But I don't think it's the highest priority. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to straight away go into storage here, and I'm going to... actually, first, I have 1, 2, 3 slots. I have 1, 2, 3 mechs to build. 4 mechs to build, actually. We have a Kabuto. But I'm not going to build the Kabuto and keep it. And we already learned that if we get anything that we want to... well, actually, we can't even sell. So, since the financial report will tick over before we arrive, that means if we have stuff from the Kabuto that we intend to sell, we will potentially end up paying more for the financial report by building it and then scrapping it than we would have if we just left it as parts until we get to this place where we can sell whatever we get out of it. So I'm not going to touch the Kabuto. I am going to build the other 3, though. And that does mean that we will have a slot left over, or we will be a slot short to then build and sell the Kabuto once we arrive, but I think I am just going to scrap the Locust. We have so many mechs to build, so... let's start off with the line holder. Or actually, let's just go all... let's just do them all. All of them all at once. Put them together, and our Mech 9000, the Urban Knight... this is going to cost us 66,000 to put together, but that is completely worth it, especially if it's in good shape. And I think the combat shield and sword are actually built in. I think they might. They used to be, I think, part. Yeah, they are. They are still part of it. We actually got. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. So. 84,600 C-bills, and it already has an XL engine, it already has a defensive gyro. The compact heatsink kit means we're going to need at least a 250 core, because we do not have any compact heatsinks, but the compact heatsink kit is a double heatsink kit. So it is going to have 60 cooling per turn from the compact heatsink kit. We're just not going to be able to have any external heatsinks because we don't own any compact heatsinks. I don't believe, do we? Like, I'm pretty sure we don't. Yeah, we just have heatsinks, doubles, and clan doubles. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so we need at least a 250 core here. Also worth noting, it has a built-in cockpit hot seat, so we're able to get plus 60 meter walk just whenever it's active. That's so good. Like, the fact that the Virus Sword Combat Shield and Cockpit Hot Seat are built in is so good. And then the Sensor Sentinel is really good. Wow. This is a solid mech, and we got lucky having the engine intact. But yeah, installing the engine core is 20,000 versus 30,000, so it's more expensive to put the 300 core, but I think the 300 core needs to go in our 55 tonner. You know what, let's just, before we do anything with the Urban Knight, let's look at the line holder and see what we got. And Yeah, it's super busted. That said, it wasn't a super fancy line holder to begin with. Although the 275 core would have been nice. So actually, let's just look, because you can look at the movement before. So before removing the 275 core, we have 5.7. So if we then instead use the 270 core that we have sitting around, where is it? There. We would still have 5.7. If we upgrade it to the 300 core, we only go 5.8. Yeah. If it was 6.9, absolutely, I'd use the extra tonnage for the 300 core. Or we could also build it as an SRM. We could build it as an SRM boat. Just 3 SRM6s, and then lasers, and then mask. Pull the ammo out of the legs, give it some case. There are a lot of options here. But since it is like completely busted, how long is it going to take for us to just repair it? 19 days. Okay, so let's just queue that up, hit enter, since the list is way too long for us to actually click. Firestarter. How bad is it? Center torso's intact, but the engine core is destroyed. So it might as well have had the center torso destroyed. So that's 330,000 and 14 days. And then we still have to install an engine core. Oof. Okay, so that means we are definitely 100% using the Urban Knight. That is going to be our first priority to build, because it is the one that needs the least amount of time, is in the best shape, and is also going to be quite fun to run around with. So, the first thing we need to do, just out of curiosity, can we can replace the spike if we so choose. So we can replace it. But do we want to, actually? Because, like, one of the disadvantages of having a 30-ton melee mech is it can't have as much armor as a bigger, heavier melee mech. And this lets us have 25% more armor. Is that good? You know what? Let's just do that. Let's just repair. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to... Yeah, let's just go ahead and pay to repair all the things. Man, decisions. Let's look at the Incubus first. Alright, so the Incubus. The Incubus runs hot. This is easy. This is a simple solution. The Incubus runs hot, so let's fix that. First off, we already have +1 gunnery. This would be a pretty viable place to put the gunnery support A. Now, we could use the exchanger to cool it down more, but it is a 30-tonner, so I would rather take valuable stuff out of it than put valuable stuff into it. So, also, machine gun ammo half is going to go in the leg. We do have case from the Clan Pharaoh, so yeah, we don't want an ammo explosion center torso. That would be bad. I am going to give it, actually, since it's loaded up with so much good stuff, I am going to give it the Gyro Defense Double Plus. So now it is guaranteed to get 9 evasion when it's going full tilt. So, yeah. Yeah. Pretty sure that's 9 evasion. Alright. So we've got it more defensive. I think we're going to drop the large pulse laser because that immediately fixes all of our heat problems. We now have a heat delta of -8. And then, with the tonnage we get from the large pulse laser, is there anything else before I shift over to weapons that I want to look at here? I mean, clan sensors, the only thing they're doing here is increasing our sight and sensor range. So that is something we could definitely upgrade. And then we could also upgrade the ECM on it, since it has none. But a Warfare Suite would be a little too heavy. Clan Watchdog Suite. Okay. So Clan Watchdog Suite's actually very interesting on a short-range, fast mech. Because you are able to run pretty easily in amongst the enemies to reduce their shield by 2 and block any non-boosted C3. But it's best used to protect allies. Also, counters ECM stealth by 3. That needs to be on something with a more impactful alpha strike than what we currently have. Quick Cell Warfare Suite. Literally half a ton heavier, but so much worse in every way. Better than nothing, yes, but and then Warfare Suite reduces enemy shield by less, but protects allies more. I think ideally we want the Warfare Suite and the Watchdog Suite to both be on or around our big heavy mechs, or our heavier mechs. Because they're going to be going slower, so they're going to be able to use... They're going to benefit more from the ECM shield than something that already has a ton of evasion. As far as like the percentage of increase of protection that they have. And if we don't use a Warfare Suite, do we even have Guardian ECM? No. We do not have Guardian ECM. So it's either Warfare Suite or we put one of the Warfare Suites on. Actually, that's worth thinking about for a second. So right now we have the Guardian ECM. 1.5 tons. We don't have any probe, except for what we get from the sensor recon. But we also have a sensor sniper, which is the same as a sensor recon, but without the probe, which means you can use it with a full Warfare Suite. So if we replace that, and we drop the Guardian ECM to put onto our Incubus, then we go down to the Clan Watchdog Suite, that is the same tonnage, counters ECM stealth by 3, meaning that we're going to be able to actually reliably pound through things that have ECM or, stealth, in addition to having just a ton of raw damage. Like, this is definitely one of the most impactful alpha strikes we have. And having counters ECM stealth by 3 on it would be quite good. Quite good. Our heat delta of -12, yeah. We're looking good. Yeah, our Bushwacker is looking good. Now, the Watchdog Suite is only providing a shield, ECM shield of 3 to the Bushwacker itself. Because it provides the 1 ECM shield to self passive, as well as the active of 2 shield to all allies, which includes the Bushwacker. Whereas the Guardian ECM in passive gave a shield of 4. So we are losing 1 ECM shield, but we're gaining so much probe. And also, if any enemies do run up on our Bushwacker, we are then negating their shield by 2. So I think that is a pretty massive improvement. Do we have cockpit components we want to put in here? Tactics B, definitely. The reason I'm putting Tactics B here is because for every 2 tactics, you get +1 initiative, which is going to help since the Bushwacker is one of our usually lower initiative units. +1 on sensors, which, again, in combination with the bypassing ECM or stealth of 3 and reducing nearby enemy stealth by 2, we're going to be able to more reliably hit very strong electronic warfare mechs. And 3, every 2 points of tactics increases your offensive push accuracy by 1, and our commander has bonuses already to offensive push accuracy. Which means we will be potentially approaching the point where offensive push does not noticeably reduce our accuracy anymore. Which would be, again, amazing on a mech that has a very solid alpha strike. So that's cool. I don't really need piloting here. Piloting doesn't do anything for this mech. We already have a sensor upgrade. Rangefinder, plus 30 meter in sight range. The +1 gunnery is, again, most useful on mechs that have stuff that can jam, and I just realized we have an AMS. Boom. So 1% less chance the AMS jams, and plus 10% chance to unjam every turn. That's good. And then finally, fire control. I know we've got some fire controls. We could also just replace the defensive gyro with the defensive gyro plus. I think we will. It just gives +1 evasion compared to the gyro defense, which means we will now have an additional evasion because we're nowhere near cap. So, again, as long as the mech doesn't normally get anywhere near the max evasion, having the defensive gyro plus is very good. This is not, I don't think, the right mech for the Fire Control Mark II. Because with the Fire Control Mark II, we're definitely going to want to use battle computers. And the battle computer ballistic would only impact the LBX autocannon. That said, if I remember correctly, we do have... Yeah, we have a Fire Control Advanced Targeting Computer as well. So this has a -10% multiplier to jam chance. Again, that would only affect the AMS. But it also improves offensive push accuracy by 2. So that's interesting. Alternatively, we could just give it a clan fire control, which gives +1 gunnery. So I think we're going to do that. I think we're just going to give it a simple, basic little fire control standard clan. Slightly helps with things. The gunnery support A, I think we're going to hold off on until we put the... Ooh, then again... We could use the Fire Control Targeting Computer Mark II here, and then use the Clan Advanced... Yeah. Because the -10% multiplier to jam chance is going to be very helpful on... Oh no, that's right, because we're going to be using the AP Gauss rifles. We're planning to use the AP Gauss rifles on our fire starter with the Ballistic Battle Computer. And they don't jam. Which means, no, we don't care about jam chance on the mech that's going to be using the battle computer. So yeah, we're going to use the Fire and Control Advanced Targeting Computer, I think. Because the improved offensive push accuracy, again, this is our commander. Our commander has, I think, inherently 3 offensive push accuracy from being military and assassin, if I remember correctly. And then this is an additional +2. And then the extra tactics might push it up to another +1 higher. So, like, again, the goal here is to try to get to the point where we can offensive push and have a bonus to hit, or at the very least a negligible penalty, if any. And then after I do this, I likely wouldn't touch this mech again for a long while. Other than maybe replacing the ER large with, like, a clan large. Because that would free up a ton, and then I could add another double heat sink. But, like, other than that, this already one of the best warfare suites in the game. Already an XL engine. Already, like, that XL, I think I would upgrade to a Clan XL as soon as we have the funds for it. But in the meantime, I think this is fine. Like, again, we're great on heat. We're great on everything. Out of curiosity, is there any ammo that I would rather bring here? No. Deadfire ammo is very interesting with the enhanced LRM because the plus 50% damage dealt with ammo does mean that the standard higher than usual damage is increased even further. So that's cool. It would be very, very massive damage. However, it does shorten the range, and it does have an inherent -2 accuracy. And the -90 minimum range doesn't matter because the enhanced LRM does not have a minimum range. So I don't think it would be worth it unless we had just, like, extra tonnage to throw an extra bin of ammo that we only occasionally use, which... I mean, it's also good because Deadfire doesn't really get intercepted by AMS well at all. So it could be very helpful whenever you have somebody closer than you would like with AMS that's being obnoxious. But no, I think we're good, just like this. I think this is good. I think this is very good. So, just in general, we're increasing our gunnery and our offensive push accuracy a lot, as well as providing better probe and about the same ECM shield, giving ourselves 1 additional evasion. Like, just across the board, pretty much everything got upgraded a little bit. And it's only going to take 2 days. And like I said, that frees up the Guardian ECM for us to put that on the Incubus. So, is that it? I mean, Gunnery A, actually. So, again, I was thinking putting Gunnery A on the mech with the ballistic battle computer, but if we're putting, like, obviously we're going to put the ballistic battle computer with our AP Gauss rifles. Like, 100%. And the AP Gauss rifles don't really care about jam chance at all. And so the +1 gunnery would just be the base hit chance increase. Whereas here, once again, it is increasing or decreasing the jam chance of the AMS and increasing the unjam chance. And the high explosive ammo does increase the jam chance significantly. So the less jam chance we have across the board, the less likely our high explosive ammo is to jam. So that's cool. That's a neat thing. Yeah. I think that's how we're going to do it. I think that's how we're going to do it. And again, at some point, once I have the surplus C-bills to do it, I am absolutely going to put a Clan XL in here. But for now, I think that's it. Oh, I have bolt... Oh, no, that's right. The bolt-ons are only usable in the slots that are currently filled with the Exchanger and the Advanced Optics Mark 1. So, yeah. Bushwacker, absolutely highest priority, period. Now then, let's go back to the Incubus. Because now we have that Guardian ECM. Guardian ECM. Ammo and leg. Large pulse laser off. Max armor. Okay. So, at this point, we currently have 2 Clan ER mediums, 4 Clan machine guns, 1 energy hardpoint, and 2 support hardpoints available. So, immediately, the thing that just like jumps out in my mind is we're putting a tag on this thing. 100%, we are putting a tag on this thing. Beautiful. Now, we can also go and, like I said, put the gyro defense double plus because it's going to be super evasive. It's also going to be a 30-tonner running around, probably for a while because this build is going to be quite exceptional for a 30-tonner. So we're going to probably end up fighting mediums and possibly even heavies with this thing on the battlefield. The more evasive it is, the less likely it is to get hit, period. The Guardian ECM specifically is a really good pick here because it can, while it's in swarming amongst the enemies, turn it active to reduce the enemy's hit chance on everyone across the board. Or if it's getting too damaged and it needs to pull away, I can put it to passive and have the highest shield possible. Out of curiosity, is Searchlight an extra thing? Yeah, Searchlight's an extra thing. Huh. I mean, that's actually an interesting concept. Put the Searchlight on it, run around amongst the enemies trying to backstab them with a bunch of medium lasers and machine guns, keeping the fog of war revealed around them, scrambling their electronic warfare. I really wish I understood how the C3 works. Like, I know I read how it works, and some very nice person commented how it works, and I still am just kind of like, not 100% sure. Like, I think I get it, but until I try to get it, like until I try it out, I don't think I'm gonna fully get it. Just out of curiosity, does this? No, this does not stack. Okay, so the Censor's Advanced Jammer is to put on a mech that doesn't have any kind of ECM, and it's just a very, very weak ECM. Jams enemies by 1, reduces jamming on allies by 1, and a persistent ECM of 1. So very, very low end ECM. But I am going to put the Sensor Recon here. We don't have a very, like, a super impactful Alpha Strike. So the fact that it only, like, I would rather have the extra ton and a half for weapons than I would putting, like, a Beagle Probe or something in it. We don't have the hard points to add micro pulse lasers. That would be interesting, but not given the hard points that we have. Unless maybe this is just a support skirmisher. Maybe this is just a support skirmisher. So, if we put a laser AMS on it, actually, if we're gonna go laser AMS, I think the laser AMS would be better in the center torso, in part to protect it better, and in part because the arm does give +1 accuracy to the tag, which is the most important part of the loadout now at this point. And of course we would shift the machine gun over to the side that has that. And then we still have 1 ton left over. We could also go flamers here. We could go flamers. Because here's the thing. The flamers, Clan Flamer and Flamer and Pirate Flamer, would be less heat still than the medium lasers. Now yes, we would do less damage to mechs. But we're not really going to be doing a lot of damage to mechs anyway. Especially, you know, when we drop the medium lasers. So the medium lasers coming out, even if we replace them with regular medium lasers, that's still only 50 damage. But instead, 1 recoil, -1 accuracy, that's fine. That's fine. The idea is we're going to get in close anyway. So, instead of... Actually, we don't even need to use the Clan Flamer there. We can just use the standard Flamer and save the Clan Flamer for somebody who has half a ton left. And just use a regular Flamer here. Which also effectively makes this a shield arm that we don't care about losing at all. So now, this is a complete utility mech. This is not damage. This mech is all about getting behind people, hitting them with a tag, to let all the allies have better sensors and a better hit chance on them. hit them with flamers to heat them up to reduce the amount they're able to shoot each turn, or maybe even shut them down. Or maybe even cause an ammo explosion. And then once they are open, start shooting with the machine gun to crit them out. And with our current heat delta of -14, either the laser AMS can fire off intercepting missiles a lot, or we can go all in with machine guns every single round. And another cool thing about flamers and machine guns is, yeah, we get bonus accuracy against battle armor and protomechs. So, yeah. And I think the heat damage actually converts to extra regular damage against battle armor and protomechs. I know against vehicles it does. So the flamers will actually do more damage than a standard medium laser against vehicles and buildings. Especially the pirate flamer. That thing is going to do insane damage against vehicles. So we have a battle armor / vehicle hunter killer that also is able to mitigate damage from the biggest, scariest mech on the board, while making it easier to shoot the biggest, scariest mech on the board, and then opening up to crit them out with machine guns once their armor is shredded. That is a very, very useful mech. And here's the thing, like, here's another consideration. We're not using any carry capacity, and we have hands. So what can we bring? I mean, the bolt-on rockets use the specialist slots, right? Like, I can't just... Yeah, no. Has to be specialist slots. The only other things we have for our, you know, specialist slots or handheld slots is exchanger, but again, we are super cold, we don't need any cooling. And that's it. Yeah, it looks like that's it. I could actually... Okay. Can I put this side torso? I can. Okay. Alright. So, that's what we're going to do. Because that clan flamer... I'm actually going to put the regular flamer on the arm, put the clan flamer in the side torso. Something like that. So we have ourselves, first of all, a lot of heat. AMS. Great cooling. Like, really good cooling. We're doing crazy damage to vehicles, battle armor, and such with incredibly high accuracy. We're able to maneuver around the battlefield very well, get into advantageous positions, run amok amongst the enemy's formation, all the while keeping the fog of war revealed around us, and increasing sensor detection on everyone within 120 meters. I don't know if that increases the sensor detection of our allies as well, or if it's just the Incubus here. And then the Guardian CM and Sensor Recon, we're going to be able to do some serious electronic warfare work. And since we're not using any carry capacity, and we don't have anything else to use, we have bolt-on incendiary rockets. So this is assuming we hit with our super accurate, high electronic warfare, whatever. If we hit with most of the 15, that's up to 30 heat. And then they also generate an additional 2 heat for 2 turns for every rocket that hits them. So just say if we have a 66% hit chance and we land 10 out of the 15 rockets, that's 20 heat immediately and then an additional 20 heat for 2 turns. Pretty nice. And then we can add on with our last 1.5 tons of carry capacity. Nothing, because that requires 3 tons. Unfortunate. Yeah, it requires 4.5 tons. Unfortunate. Because I was thinking putting rockets in the other side would be pretty cool too. That said, not having rockets in the shield side also means we don't have to worry about ammo explosions on the shield side, so maybe it's good that we don't have the ability to do that. But yeah, we've got a little bit of a filthy backstabber that also has some good utility to it. Is very, very evasive. And we always have the option at a later time to change our minds. But if I remember correctly, we're going to an urban tropical planet or system that has moons. So we're running very cold and we're able to heat people up. We want this thing to drop in the hottest biome possible. Because again, the only way we overheat any is if the laser AMS is firing off a lot. In which case we just don't shoot everything. Easy. Although, right, the heat efficiency, we do have to keep in mind if we go all in with the machine guns, that is an extra 12 heat. But if we go all in with the machine guns, A, we still have a -2 heat delta, and B, some of them are probably going to jam. And when they're jammed, they're not generating heat, obviously. I think that's a good build. We are 0.03 tons away from maxed out, but that's fine. That is completely fine. What I would actually also love to see is if we had machine gun incendiary. Because this thing is not able to run SRMs. Otherwise, the Inferno SRMs are an amazing weapon system to put in conjunction with flamers. But this is actually a thing that we could put on another mech to drop as battle buddies with the Incubus. Huh. We have 3 missile hardpoints on the line holder. The line holder firing off 18 Inferno missiles per turn on targets that are tagged. With this Incubus adding so much more heat. That's interesting. Yeah, we're gonna make this thing a battle buddy. We're gonna make this thing an SRM boat battle buddy. Alright. First though, I definitely want to rename it so I don't keep getting it confused with the other Incubus. So it is now Calcifer. Pretty sure I spelled that right. I'll fix it later if I didn't. Okay. So we have Calcifer. It's gonna take 12 days. Definitely want to get that done as well. Highest priority is definitely gonna be the Bushwacker. But we can get other stuff ready to build before we ready up the mechs we're gonna ready up. So I think actually repairs is the higher priority. Let's get the line holder done. Let's get the line holder repaired because I do want to make that into an SRM boat to run alongside with Calcifer. That's gonna be fun. But I don't think I'm gonna do what I was like. Initially, I was just gonna build it into a mech just to have an extra 30 tonner to drop. But we have plenty of 30+ tonners at this point. Oh, also I want to get the stealth done so I can add the combat sword and shield to it. Yeah. So, in 2 days, the stealth will be done. We can add the sword and shield. 4 days, the fire starter will be done. We can build it to be the AP Gauss rifle carrier. Then 3 days later, the Bushwacker will be done. And after 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. After 19 days, Calcifer will be finished. The stealth and Bushwacker will be finished. The line holder will be fully repaired and ready to build. The fire starter will be fully repaired and ready to build. And the Incubus 9 is the lowest priority, I think. Then again, no, it's a higher priority than the fire starter. The fire starter is super busted. So, yeah, since the fire starter is even more busted than the Incubus, we'll repair the Incubus and build it first, and then build the fire starter after. The Urban Knight's super interesting to build too. But I think we're going to prioritize the 3 mechs that are ready to drop once they finish. The Stealth, the Bushwacker, and Calcifer. Then we're going to prioritize the Firestarter and the Line Holder. Because those are 2 of the heaviest mechs that we're going to be able to drop. Yeah. You know, I will. I will. So, for now, that's been your episode of Roguetech for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a good one.